rich versus wealthy, right? And that differentiation between those two things is very difficult to be able to tell the difference, right? Because there's a lot of similar parallels between someone who's rich and someone who's wealthy. Now, when we look at the definition of rich versus wealthy, and we just want to lump it all together as in someone who has a lot of money, then we look at those people and those individuals as the same thing. I don't do that, right? We define wealth. To me, when you define wealth, one of the elements of wealth is not just about the money, but it's about the mindset. To me, to be rich, you're just someone who has a skill or a gift or a talent that allows you to make an abundance of money. But that doesn't mean your mentality is good, because you may only have that abundance of money because you're doing that skill, gift, or talent in order to make it. But when you stop doing that skill, gift, or talent, you stop getting the money and you end up becoming poor or broke. But what separates the rich from the wealthy is the people that understand how to deploy their money, the psychology behind money, and realizing that money is this asset that when you deploy it to something that's appreciating in value, it ends up working for you instead of you working for it. And ultimately, to me, that's the biggest separation between rich and wealthy. And often with someone who's rich, they're really just trying to flaunt what they have. They're driving around the fancy cars, they're wearing big jewelry, they're wearing expensive suits and clothes, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? Wealthy people do it as well, but they can probably buy those things 10 times over versus someone who's rich. They get that big paycheck and they want to get it because they never had those kind of things in life. And often someone who's rich, on paper, they're worth a lot, right? Like this person over here is worth 50 million net worth. A lot of us right now would say we would love to be worth $50 million. But what if we can be worth $1 billion? Well, part of that is the way that you think about your finances. With the gentleman here to the right, he's very conservative about what he's wearing. Is it still expensive? Yes. But in comparison to the person who's rich, it's not apples to apples. And as you can see, he's worth $10 billion. There's levels to this game here, right? Because the way that he looks at money versus the rich person is that he's putting his money in different assets that are growing and growing and growing. With a $10 billion net worth, he's making more than what the rich guy is worth every single month. So he's focused on growing that money, sustaining that money over a long period of time. Because guess what? You ain't making $10 billion overnight. That's a process you had to put into play for many years to get to that point. If you're a talented singer or actor or, entertainer like an athlete, you can make $50 million a year based off your contract, based off your gift. You can't do that with $10 million. That ain't going to happen. You got to have a sustainable process that's standardized, and it's been honed and it's been tailored over a long period of time. So when you're on your journey right now to discover about finances, to learn about building wealth, you have to really understand, who do you want to be in this journey? Do you want to just have money based off of your skill and talents? Or do you want to have money when you're sleeping, growing to a point where you can never fathom making that kind of money? And that's what being wealthy is. So choice is ultimately yours, rich or wealthy.
Put that work in. 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 They got to catch up, cause I'm too fast like Usain. Don't put me in no one-on-one, get cooked up. Well done. Came about that low pond, but now I'm swimming with